across the Illawarra, South Coast and Southern Highlands. This is Win News.
Tonight, tears and triumphs. Students finally head back to school. More cases and a death as an aged care COVID cluster grows. And police rush to hospital and a man arrested after a fiery escape. Good evening, I'm Bruce Roberts. Also tonight on Win News, the pride of the Shoalhaven, Art Cadeau, climbs the Kosciuszko summit, landing an emotional win for a South Coast stable. It was back to the classroom for 180,000 New South Wales schools today as face-to-face learning resumed for kindergarten years 1 and 12. Understandably, socialising was the first lesson on the timetable.
Backpacks full, lunchboxes packed, and some bubbles and balloons to celebrate the return of face-to-face learning 4 months in the making.
What are you looking forward to most about going back to school?
Seeing my friends, playing with my friends. I'm looking lots of my friends.
Parents happy to say goodbye to at-home learning as they waved their children back to the classroom.
It's really good. I'm feeling very positive about them sort of going back and, getting to get back into the routine of school and being here through the week.
I was nervous at first with all the cases at the moment, but I think the kids need some normalcy, some routine, really.
Finding it hard to put what the last few months have been like into words, some teachers wrote a song about just how much they've missed their students.
Over there, we want you here. My happiness slowly creeping back.
Finally now able to teach on school grounds, the first couple of weeks will be about making sure the students readjust.
So our main focus at the moment is that social competency and really getting to know each other again and learning how to learn together and strive for the heights of excellence.
The return comes after an audit of all the state's public school classrooms ensuring appropriate ventilation. Mask wearing is still recommended for primary school students and compulsory for all staff and high school students. Any future school shutdowns, if COVID cases are detected, now expected to be short and sharp.
What I envisage will happen is we'll start to see less and less disruption because of COVID in our school communities, and that's a positive thing.
Samara Gardner, Win News.
And there were more freedoms to enjoy for the fully vaccinated today as the state hit another milestone. Ditching your mask in the office and standing at the pub are now allowed, but long-awaited regional travel will still have to wait.
Friendly faces on full display for the first mask-free Monday at MMJ.
We actually opened up for our double vaccinated staff to come back last week, but we definitely had more choose to come this week without the masks because it takes a bit of getting used to.
Face coverings are no longer required in office buildings for fully vaccinated people as the state surpasses 80% vaccination.
We're very vibrant and cultural around here. It's a family business, so having people back, familiar faces back, has been really good, and actually getting to see those faces as of today makes a difference as well.
Masks are still required in all other indoor spaces, including shopping centres and apartment building common areas, as well as public transport. Hospitality staff working directly with the public also need to mask up. Capacity at those venues is unchanged, but people can stand and drink inside, but not dance at nightclubs. Weddings and funerals have no cap outside the venue capacity. 20 people can gather in a home, 50 outdoors. Anyone enjoying these new freedoms needs to be vaccinated, except in places of worship where everyone is welcome. Regional travel was earmarked to resume at 80%, but has been pushed back until next month. Wollongong and Shellharbour residents still stuck in Greater Sydney, unable to travel just south to Kiama.
So it's 5 minutes down the road. Yeah, my son's at preschool down there, my daughter plays soccer, our doctor's down there in Kiama. So there's a really strong connection that we can't sort of maintain at the moment.
We love travelling to Kiama as well, just for the day to go to the blowhole, especially when it's really windy. We love it. Yeah, it's so close, but we're not allowed to go there. But we can go to the Blue Mountains.
In about a month, Queensland will open its border. That date just weeks after New South Wales regions finally open to Greater Sydney.
We're very hopeful in terms of those numbers in regional New South Wales. I think things are going very well. Obviously, we've made some changes in holding that date, but we'll continue to work with our regions.
Killy Royal, Win News.
And a worker at IRT's Link Seaside Aged Care residence has tested COVID positive after working while infectious. The provider has confirmed the worker is now isolating. It comes as the region's deaths linked to the Delta outbreak continue to rise, with another in hospital overnight.
And a woman in her 80s from Wollongong area died at Wollongong Hospital, and she had received 1 dose of the COVID vaccine and also had underlying health conditions.
It comes after a fully vaccinated resident of IRT's Tarrawanna Aged Care died at the weekend. The man in his 90s had only very mild symptoms prior to dying, according to the provider. There are now 24 residents and 4 staff who've contracted the virus. And there were 16 new cases in the local health district today, Wollongong again accounting for the majority. There have now been 2,278 local cases of COVID in the Illawarra Shoalhaven since the start of the Delta outbreak. There were no new cases further south. 4 police officers were taken to hospital late last night following a hotel fire on Burke Street, Wollongong. Fire and rescue was called to the Normandy Hotel just before 11, where police allege a man barricaded himself inside a room that he'd set alight. Attempting unsuccessfully to speak to the man, police forced entry and tasered the 46-year-old before arresting him. He was taken to Wollongong Hospital along with the 4 officers to be treated for smoke inhalation. Investigations continue. Bulai Surf Lifesaving volunteers are relieved after more than $3,000 of stolen equipment was returned. The club is ramping up security and it's released security footage to help catch the thieves.
Equipment stacked away after a busy Saturday. Bulai Lifesaving Club's shed bathed in darkness, but not for long. 2 males break in just before midnight. Spotting the CCTV cameras, they retreat, but only for a moment. Minutes later, they return to take the club's beach buggy for a joyride, disappearing into the night. It's a tough watch for Jamie Caldwell.
To have people disrespect the equipment, the building and the service that we provide on Sundays and public holidays is really a slap in the face.
The buggy was found bogged 4 hours later, sustaining only minor damage, but without its spinal or rescue board. Worth more than $3,000 combined, they've since been recovered. The rescue board reappearing next to the club rooms.
So we can only assume that a good Samaritan has found it, or the alleged offenders have thought better and decided to return it.
A lucky escape for the club as beachgoers from southwest Sydney return to the coast for the first time in months.
Yesterday afternoon saw a number of incidents occur here at Bulai as well as up and down the Illawarra coastline. We're very lucky that the damage was minor and that we were able to operate it correctly.
The club vowing to ramp up security. The community stunned by the brazen attempt.
It's terrible for people to do that.
I think it's absolutely disgusting that anyone would stoop that low to take what is there for our benefit.
Police investigations are continuing. Anyone who has any information is encouraged to contact New South Wales Police or Crime Stoppers. Sam Mills, Win News.
And when we return with more news, this Monday, a new plan to bring a Shoalhaven town to life. And from heavy hauling to headline news, a magic milestone for a top truckie.